Y'all ever wonder why Africans don't really like us? Well, I was married to an African. I remember we was having a conversation and I said to him, you know, it just really seemed like y'all don't really like us. I was showing him a video. I said, this is what they show us of y'all, that y'all hungry, your ribs is hanging out. So I showed him the video of one of those commercials they would show us like 3 in the morning. Could you spare $1? He said, that is not us. He looked at that video, he laughed, and he said, who is that? He said, that is not us. He said, that's not them in Africa. That was never them starving. I said, what? So then I said, well, what is they showing y'all of us? He said the movies that they see of us is that we are, you know, our men sell drugs, you know, which they do, but they sell drugs and they just murder anything walking. They murder everybody. And so I said, well, what they show y'all about us? He said, they show them that we're prostitutes and we get high. And I was like, what? And so then he said when he went to get his papers from immigration or whoever he get the papers from to come here, he said they told him, don't marry a black woman. You be better off marrying a white woman. So when we're looking at this separateness that we have amongst each other, it was inbred in us. It was inbred to them to fear us. So they fear us and don't like us. We got to wake up, y'all, and come back together and unite in unity. There was things that was done and said to keep us apart. Ashe.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Verse or Belly Dirt channel. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I'm gonna be your today's host, and I have so many statistics to put up here, and we are gonna come out to talk about it. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
The fact that a young man was lynched in the U.S. just yesterday should be the reason why every black person wants to leave the U.S. for good. Like, I'm not talking about, oh, we're just going to vacation. No, like, pack up your shit, sell all your shit, gather some money, get some money straight so you could be good for 2 years before you get your business up and running, and move your asses on to Africa. I know it's not that easy, but this is why a lot of people are leaving. America will never change. It's the same story. We sing in the same song every year about racism, about killings, wrongful police brutality. Why aren't y'all seeing this? And why don't y'all want to leave? Y'all want to continue being hunged and nobody doing anything about it?
There is black genocide in the USA. They are killing black people in the USA.
This is for all the black folks that keep passing around that white supremacist propaganda that Africans do not care about African Americans. Africans don't like African Americans. Africans don't want us in Africa. That is false. Stop letting them condition you with self-hatred. I would rather live in a place with issues that I'm welcome in than to be in a place with the same issues that I'm not welcome in.
Message.
People, something is not adding up. Meet this man right here. His name is Omari Bryant. This man was found hung outside a motel in Georgia. He was only 18 years old, and law enforcement said he took his own life. Now meet this man right here. His name is Robert Fuller. He was only 24 years of age. This man was found hung in Palmdale, California, near City Hall. Law enforcement said this man took his life also. Now meet Dominique Alexander. He was 27 years old, and he was from New York. He was found hung in a park also, and law enforcement said he took his own life. Now meet Javion McGee. He was 24 years old, and he was from Chicago. He was found hung in North Carolina, not far from his pickup truck. And guess what? They say he took his life also. Now meet Denoris Richardson. He was 39 years old. He was found hung in an abandoned house in Alabama, And guess what? They said he took his life also. And people, right before Denoris Richardson was found hung, he had a pending lawsuit against the police. And people, in 2025, Earl Smith was found hung in Albany, New York. He was 58 years old. And people, everyone recently heard about Trey Reed. He was 21 years of age. He was from Mississippi, and he went to Delta State University. They found him hung on campus, and law enforcement said it was no foul play. Now, people, the sad truth is I can go on and on, but let me make something clear. This is not what black men do. Black men do not go out and unalive theyself like that. Now, people, in my humble opinion, someone got away with unaliving these people. Now, people, I'm going to say this, and I hope you listen loud and clear. If you do not take the steps to protect yourself, then no one will. Now, what do I mean? Well, you need to stop meeting crazy people online, thinking you can trust them. And people, this goes for men and women. You can go to someone's house that you met online just to find out it was a setup. People, most of the time when someone do something very bad to someone and you hear about it on the news, they trust that person. That's why they got in the car with that individual. That's why they went to their house. And then we hear something crazy on the news, like they hung themselves. People, stop it. You should always be your first line of defense. You should always protect yourself first by not putting yourself in harm's way. All of these people I just showed you did not deserve to die. Please never forget them and keep their family in your prayers.
Whew, I love this comment, and it is needed and it is necessary. Thank you. We definitely need to have a discussion, Africa and the so-called African Americans, because there was a strategic plan designed to keep us apart. And the reason being is because they know how powerful we are together. If the two sticks come together in unity, that will shut down the power source that's been running the world. We need to come together. We don't need to be separate anymore, because here's the thing. All of this bickering back and forth and throwing shade that I'm seeing in some of the comments in regards to the video, it's very horrifying to me, because we are missing the bigger picture. But I thank you, because you definitely understood the assignment. We need to come together, the so-called African Americans and Africans, because technically and honestly, we are one. Just like the Power Rangers, there's a cartoon that we grew up on. The Power Rangers are separate. I mean, the Power Rangers, they're not separate, but each of them had power. But when they come together in unison, the power is unmatched, it's unstoppable. And they would always come together as the one, showing us that's exactly what we need to do. And this doesn't negate the fact that we need help on our home bases, because yes, I see comments that says African Americans don't even like themselves. That is true. A lot of us, we don't. But we have a lot of healing to do, and we have to start somewhere, and it starts with us. Ashe.
Just happening to say stochastic terrorism. It is stochastic terrorism when white men march in the streets saying white men fight back. And less than a week later, Trey Reed is found hanging on a college campus. That is stochastic terrorism. It is stochastic terrorism when Brian Kilmeade gets up on national television and says that the state should execute unhoused people simply for being unhoused. And less than a week later, there's a mass shooting at a homeless encampment. That is stochastic terrorism. Look, there are a few different theories running around out there about how Charlie Kirk died and who's responsible for it. Whether you think it was Bibi in the imaginary state punching that man's car because he wasn't sufficiently pro-Israel enough and that he was fighting with his donors like Bill Ackman, or whether you think it was a Groyper who saw Charlie as a mouthpiece who could not sufficiently usher in the culture of white nativist fascism that people like Nick Fuentes want to see, it is apparent to me that right-wing violent extremism is the issue here. And let's be so clear that they never needed a pretext to escalate into full white nativist fascism. They never needed that. That was always the plan, okay? But what's happening when Erica Kirk, the Republican Party, and the entire right-wing media runs cover for the farthest extremes of their big tent is what happened with the Tea Party. The Tea Party was once the subculture of the Republican Party. And now This subculture is a far-right extremism that is just going to pull the party to the right again. They are framing this as left-wing violence in order to crack down on dissent. And they are taking advantage of people's religious psychosis and hyper-individualism to manufacture consent to do it. If you made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment a pan emoji. Because this society is fried like catfish. Love you. Go to the range.
That's my goal, is to create the bridge between African Americans and Africans, because there's more of a similarity than we ever, like when you was over there, it looked like you recognized all of them.
Yeah.
They look just like Detroit.
Yep.
You thought you was in Philly. Yeah. I mean, the way they walk, everything. I thought I saw so many people I knew because we are so similar in design, the way we walk, the way we move. It was just amazing. But what we got to do, man, is create that bridge, like brothers like yourself who go over there, whose podcast is probably, but who can teach and share what we know. You know, I'm trying, like all the young Africans want to come to America. But I tell them, I said, look, man, you sure? You sure you want to come over here and be in this? This ain't what you think it is. See, when I'm in Ghana or South Africa and I get stopped by the police, guess what I get? I get a warning, I get a ticket, or I give them $100 and I drive off. And I got $100. So chances are, I ain't got a ticket yet. Be speeding my ass off. I've never, since I've been over there, saw on the news or nothing that somebody got pulled over by the police and got shot. They don't shoot you in Africa. I said, man, y'all sure y'all want to come over here? Because you all don't understand that. And then when you're in South Africa, you hear about the difference between the blacks and the coloreds. I said, well, let me help you out with that. You come to America, your ass is black. You can call them coloreds over here if you want to, and you can call them black. But you come to the United States, your ass is finna be black. So you sure you want to come over here? I think it's more beneficial for us to go home. See, this is how I describe it. America's my home. This is my home. My children are here. My grandchildren are here. A lot of my business is here. But Africa is my homeland. Me going to Africa is like going to a place called home that I've never been. When you land in Africa, you immediately feel good, don't you?
Yeah, it was good vibes.
Dog, it's crazy. Because you home. Dog, this is where you from. Your feet belong on this soil. We was ripped from there. So when I go to Africa, man, it's the place I get to walk around and I'm good all the time. Because the majority of the people look just like me everywhere I go. And that's a warm feeling, man. And if I could take what we've learned over here as African Americans and share that with them and empower them, that becomes great. But I think what people don't understand is how rich of a continent Africa really is. Do you realize, man, it's the only country in the world that don't have to import nothing. They don't need your food. They don't need your energy. They don't need your gold. They don't need your diamonds. They don't need your coal. They don't need your uranium. They don't need your platinum. They don't need nothing. Africa is the only country in the world. They don't need your oil. They ain't got to import nothing, but they've been over there just raped. Colonialization, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Spanish, the French, the Chinese, they just over there just raping them, man. And so if we can go over there, because they got some money over there. They got some dudes over there that's making some paper.
Alright, the fact that a young black man was launched in the United States in the year 2025 tells us everything we need to know about this country. People want to pretend that things have changed, that we are living in some post-racial America, but how can anyone say that with a straight face when we are still seeing the same brutal images of black bodies hanging from trees just like in the photographs of the 1920s? How can we claim progress when our lives are still disposable, when we are still the target of every violent system designed to break us? Let's talk about this honesty. America has never been for black people. It was built on our backs, on our labor, on our stolen sweat, our stolen brilliance, our stolen children. And yet, when it comes time for protection, it comes time for justice, when it comes time for dignity, it's always denied. We are told to march, we are told to protest, we are told to wait, but we have been waiting for over 400 years, and the blood still spills. And now people want to ask, why are so many black Americans packing their bags and leaving? Why are they moving to Ghana, to Nigeria, to South Africa, to Sierra Leone? Why are people saying enough is enough, I'm leaving America behind? It's because we are waking up, we have seen enough funerals, we have written enough hashtags, we have cried enough tears, and we are realizing America will never change. The same song has been on repeat for centuries. Launching then, police brutality now, slave patrol then, mass incarceration now, sharecropping then, wage slavery now, and in between, every promise of equality has been nothing but smoke. But let me break this down deeper. There is a reason so many of us feel this separation between Africans on the continent and us in the America. I was speaking with someone once. A woman says she was married to an African man, and she asked him straight up, why does it feel like you all don't like us? She showed him one of those late night commercials, you know, the ones, a starving African child with flies around their heads, ribs poking out, some white missionary begging for donations at 3 in the morning. And do you know what that African man said? He laughed. He said, that is not us. That is not our story. We looked at that video like it was an alien. He said, that is propaganda. That's not Africa. And then she asked him, well, what do they show you all about us? And he said, they show us that your men are drug dealers, that your women are prostitutes, that all of you are criminals and addicts. And think about that for a moment. Think about how carefully this separation has been engineered. They showed us starving children, so we think Africa is nothing but poverty and suffering. They showed them images of gang violence and drugs, so they think African Americans are nothing but criminals. And when what African man went into immigration, their officer told him, don't marry a black American woman. You did be better off marrying a white woman. That is institutional, that is deliberate, that is systemic, is not a coincidence, is a strategy. The truth is, our division has always been attributed from Middle Passage to the plantation to the colonial office. The powers that knew that if the African abroad and the African at home ever united, it would be game over. That is why they kept us apart with oceans of lies. They fed us stereotypes of each other. They seeded mistrust. They turned us into strangers to our own blood. And that is why today so many of us don't see the bridge. But I'm telling you right now, the bridge exists. And here's the reality. The launching of that young man in America yesterday should be a wake-up call, not a surprise, because nothing about these countries surprises us anymore. But a wake-up call, how much more can we take? How much longer are we going to keep singing the same song year after year? How many more hashtags before we realize hashtags don't bring justice, they don't bring safety, they don't bring freedom? Let's stop pretending. The American system is not broken. It's functioning exactly the way it was designed. And what was it designed to do? To control black bodies, to surveil us, to exploit us, to kill us when necessary. From the black slave patrols in the 70s to the police siren of today, nothing has changed. The uniform changed, the laws changed, the languages changed, but the mission remains. So when we see our brothers and sisters moving to Africa, it's not just a relocation. It's just I want cheap. It's not just I want cheaper rent or I want more sunshine. No, it is an art of survival. It is an art of rebellion. It is an art of homecoming, because deep down we know we were never meant to survive here. We have survived against the odd, yes. We have built beauty in the midst of horror, yes. We have created culture that the whole world copies, yes. But survival is not the same as freedom. And America will never give us freedom. But Africa is not perfect, let me be clear. There are challenges, there are struggles, there are governments that don't always have our best interests at heart either. But at least in Africa, you are not black first, you are human first. You are not waking up every day wondering if a traffic stop might turn into a death sentence. You are not raising children under the constant shadow of being criminalized for existing, and that is why so many are going back. We need to understand the power of choice. For centuries, we had no choice. We were chained, shipped, sold, beaten, forced. But today, we have choice, and that choice is to say no more. No more begging for seats at American's table. No more dining in the streets while politicians give speeches. No more asking the same system that enslaved us to somehow save us. We are done. And if we are serious about healing this separation between Africans and African Americans, then we need honesty. Africans need to know that African Americans are not just the stereotype they have been fed, and African Americans need to know that Africans are not the charity cases we have been shown. We are one people, different histories, different scars, but one people. And the same force that launched that young man yesterday are the same forces that caved up Africa at the Berlin Conference. They are the same force that looted African gold, African oil, African diamonds. They are the same forces that looted African labor here in the Americas. Is one enemy, one struggle. And until we recognize that, we will continue to be divided. And division is death, but unity is survival, unity is power, unity is freedom. So when I say pack your bags, say your things, save enough to survive for 2 years while you build your business and make that move, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying everyone can do it tomorrow. But I'm saying start planning, start imagining, start taking steps, because the only thing waiting for us in America is another headline, another funeral, another circle of grief. We deserve better. We deserve life. We deserve peace. We deserve home. And if America refuses to give it, then we must go to the one place that already belongs to us, Africa.
And if you watch up to this extent, don't forget to please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, why not just share your thought? Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.